Good morning, dear children of class 6, and I am glad to welcome you all to today's zoology class. So, in today's class, we will be learning the continuation of chapter 5. What is chapter 5? Chapter 5 is the respiratory system, right? In our previous classes, we have studied about the organs of the respiratory system and their functions all we have studied, right? So, in today's class, we are going to learn about gas exchange of gases in the respiratory system or gas exchange in respiratory system. So, what is the topic? Exchange of respiratory gases. Exchange of respiratory gases. What is going to be exchanged or what are the respiratory gases? About all these we will be learning in today's class. So, when we use this word exchange, it means it is between two persons. Say for example, you exchange something with your friends, right? You cannot exchange by yourself. So, it means exchange, the word exchange itself refers to it is happening between two people or two things. Okay. So, here between who and who the something is exchanged in this topic. What is given? Gas exchange, right? So, the gas is exchanged between which organ and which organ? It is between this structure, this ball like structure. Now, can you see round structures? So, it is going to be between these round structures which are called as alveoli. So, what are they? They are called as alveoli. The ball shaped structures are alveoli. And can you see some lines, red lines around and blue lines around? They are called as capillaries. What are they called? Capillaries. So, the exchange is going to be between the alveoli and the capillaries. Clear? Where can you see alveoli and where are the capillaries? Do you remember the structure of a respiratory system? We have studied about the trachea, which is the windpipe. Do you remember the trachea or the windpipe through which the air can pass? Right. So, this is trachea which is divided into two subdivisions. It is called as bronchi. This all we have studied in our previous class, and this bronchi is branched into many tubes called as bronchioles, and this bronchioles have small round structures, and these round structures are these balls shown here. What is the name of them? It is called the alveoli. Okay, and surrounding this obviously you have the lungs surrounding this. So, the structure of the respiratory system is like, it starts with the trachea, which is the windpipe. Air will flow into the windpipe, and it is divided into two branches called as bronchi, trachea, bronchi. Bronchi is divided into many bronchioles, and the bronchioles have air pockets which are called as alveoli. So, this is the alveoli. Okay, are you clear where it is present? Now, you should know what is this. You have some red color lines and blue color lines. Now, what are they? They are called as capillaries. I already told you they are called as capillaries. What are these capillaries? Capillaries are small blood vessels. Blood can flow through the capillaries. But why some capillaries are red in color? Why some capillaries are blue in color? Because if you have oxygenated blood, what did I tell you? If you have oxygenated blood, which means if the blood is full of oxygen, the blood will appear red in color. Where can you find such blood? You can find them immediately when the lungs are rich in oxygen. The capillaries around the lungs will all be red in color because lungs is the place where you take in oxygen. No? When you take in oxygen, it will directly go into the lungs, and so it is rich in oxygen. So, in that place is all, and in heart also you can see this red capillaries. But all other parts of your body will have so much of carbon dioxide produced. How carbon dioxide is produced? Because every metabolism in your body will result in the formation of carbon dioxide gas, right? So this carbon dioxide, if it is present in the blood, then the blood is called deoxygenated blood. So whenever, even when you study about the structure of the heart, or whenever you see a picture of a man with veins all, you can see both red veins and blue veins. Where red veins denote it is pure blood or oxygenated blood, and blue veins, blue color capillaries wherever you see, it is called as deoxygenated blood, and it means that blood is less in oxygen and more in carbon dioxide. Okay, so now this topic gas exchange is going to happen between this alveoli and these capillaries. Okay, the alveoli and the capillaries only, the exchange is going to happen. So how it will happen, we will be learning in the upcoming slides. As I told you already, between what and what the exchange is happening between the alveoli and the capillaries, the exchange of gases is happening, and here blood is a medium of transport. If some exchange has to happen, there should be an intermediate or a medium to give and take. No, that intermediate here is the blood, because blood is the one which can carry the gases. So the intermediate here or the medium of transport is the blood. Clear? Exchange of what? Exchange of gases. Which two gases? There are two gases called oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is what we take in from atmosphere, we take in oxygen, and the waste gases produced in our body is the carbon dioxide that has to be given out. So how this is happening, we will learn in detail in the upcoming slides. Before learning how gases are exchanged, you should know about certain type of cells in your blood which is called as red blood cells. Can you see this structure? This is the structure of red blood cells. How they differ from the other cells? They have a special property, that is they have a pigment called as hemoglobin. What is the speciality of red blood cells? They have a special pigment which is called as hemoglobin. Heme means iron. What is the meaning of heme? Heme means iron. Okay. So this is responsible for the red color of the blood. See here, this cell itself, red blood cell is red in color. Usually what is the color of other cells? Other cells of your body, white blood cells or even bacterial cells, or whatever cells you know on this earth, do not have specialized red color. Only this has red color because of the presence of a pigment called as hemoglobin. What about the other cells? Other cells are usually colorless. More than 90% of the cells do not have any color in them, unless and until if there is a green pigment called chlorophyll, then the plant or the cells where the pigment is present will appear green in color. So similarly, this pigment hemoglobin gives the red color to which cells? To these red blood cells. And some more properties of red blood cells. So I told you they are iron containing pigments. They contain iron. Okay. So when you take in more iron source like what liver, if you take it gives you more iron content, and also the leafy vegetables, if you take also you get more iron, like that. Specialized foods can supply more iron to you, and also dates have high content of iron. So if your RBC cells are less in number, if you have less RBC cells, how you know? Like the doctor, if you go to the doctor, he will check below your eyes if it is red in color, or for some people now it is pale in color, which means the hemoglobin content is very less. Then you can take in these liver or dates, or if you eat you will get back the normal levels of hemoglobin. Okay, so why we are learning about this specialized cell called RBC cells? Because these RBC cells are the special cells in your body which can exchange the gases, which can carry the gases, both it can carry oxygen as well as the carbon dioxide. So that's why we are learning about the properties of these cells. And these cells have one more special property. Can you see a hollow structure in this? Usually cells are flat, right? Any cell, if you see, if say for example, if I draw a bacterial cell, it is going to be of this shape. It is not this shape. What is this? You have a term called as, it is called biconcave in shape. What is concave? If you have a hollow structure like this, it is called concave, and if it is going to, if it is like this, you call it as convex. Okay, so this is concave shape because you have a hollow in between, in the middle, right? And why it is called biconcave? Why it is called bi? Bi means two, right? So biconcave means, suppose if I flip the cell this way, okay, the back side is also going to have another concave structure. So one concave, one hollow structure this side, and at the back also one more hollow structure is going to be. That's why it is called as biconcave shape. And what is the advantage of having biconcave shape? Say for example, you take a plate at your home, it is flat, right? Plates are generally flat. Take one bowl, bowl is hollow, like this you have a hollow space in the middle, no? So you add some water in the bowl and add some water in the plate. Which can hold more water? Bowl can hold more water, right? Why? Because it is hollow in nature, it has a large surface area. Clear? So similarly, our RBC cells also have large surface area because of this biconcave shape. Okay, so we are not going to pour water inside these RBC cells. What these RBC cells are going to accommodate? They are going to accommodate this pigment, that is the hemoglobin. Clear? So because of the biconcave nature of the hemoglobin cells, that is the RBC cells, more hemoglobin pigments can accommodate in that place, and the red blood cells can have more number of hemoglobin pigments. So it can accommodate more hemoglobin. Clear? In this slide, we are going to learn about a process called as diffusion. What is the process? It is a process called as diffusion. So throughout this topic in today's class, I am repeatedly telling about gas exchange, right? So this process of gas exchange is actually happening by a process called as diffusion. What is this diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of certain substances or molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. I will repeat again. Diffusion is a process where any molecules or a substance is going to move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. What is this concentration means? Say for example, in atmosphere there is oxygen, right? So there is more concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere and less concentration of oxygen inside the body, because it doesn't mean the volume. Just keep in mind that concentration does not mean the volume, it means how thick or how concentrated it is present. So obviously in the atmosphere there is more concentration of oxygen, and in your body the concentration is less because your body equally produces carbon dioxide, which will reduce the oxygen levels. Okay, so I told you diffusion is a process of movement of, in this case it is going to be gas, because here the topic what we are studying is exchange of gases. No, general definition is movement of any substance or molecule, but here in this lesson you can define in terms of gases. How can you tell? Diffusion is the movement of gases from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Okay, and one more concept what you have to know is blood with oxygen is called oxygenated blood. If your blood has oxygen, then that blood can be called as oxygenated blood. In a heart, you will be learning the structure of the heart in detail in your grade 8, but just for now you understand this. If there is a heart, there are actually 4 chambers in a heart. Your heart is divided into 4 chambers, okay, and you have right side and left side. See, generally if I ask you to point out the right side, what you will do? You will point this is the right side, right? But it is wrong, because the person who has this heart, okay, is like this. So this is his left side and this is his right side. So this man's left side is this and right side is this. We should not consider our side. For me, this is right and this is left. For this man who has this heart, this side is left and this side is right. So when I want to label the right side, I will label this as right and I will label this as left. Clear? So I told you blood with oxygen is called oxygenated blood. It is always present in the left side of the heart. Which side? This side. Usually human heart will have oxygenated blood and it will give this oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. Clear? So always left side of the heart has oxygenated blood, which will give the pure blood or oxygenated blood to all the parts of the body. You have to keep this concept in mind. Okay, we will come back to the process of diffusion. The carbon dioxide, if it is present in your blood, that blood is called as deoxygenated blood. So what did we learn previously? If oxygen is present in the blood, that blood is called oxygenated blood, right? So similarly, if carbon dioxide is present in the blood, that blood is called deoxygenated blood. And then, as I told you already, diffusion is always from the place of higher concentration to the place of lower concentration. So now we learn from where to where diffusion is going to happen. So there are 2 concepts to be remembered. Okay. So first is in terms of oxygen. The second I will discuss in terms of carbon dioxide. First. So in the previous slide also I displayed this picture. This is a magnified image of the alveoli, that a ball like things we saw in the first slide, no, that one ball is shown here. This is the alveoli and this is the capillary. Already I told you exchange of gases is going to be between the alveoli and the blood capillaries. Okay, so here we have 2 concepts. First, in terms of oxygen. See, when you breathe in a previous class we have studied inhalation is breathing in, right? So during the inhalation or breathing process, you take in air, that is you take in oxygen, no? So now oxygen is high, So this is, see, when you take in the air during inhalation, what is happening? Oxygen concentration is very high. Oxygen concentration is very high. Where it is high? It is high in the alveoli, because when you take in the air, it directly goes into the lungs where alveoli is present. That's why alveoli is called air pockets. So now alveoli has high concentration of oxygen, whereas the blood capillaries, which have already flowed through all parts of your body, has low concentration of oxygen, because all your body cells has already used the oxygen. So now this blood capillary has low oxygen concentration. So now what will happen? The process of diffusion happens where oxygen, which is high in concentration in the alveoli, will flow to the region of low concentration, that is into the capillaries. From here to here oxygen will flow. So this is the first process. I told you the second is in terms of carbon dioxide. Exactly at the same time what is happening here is there is high concentration of carbon dioxide in the capillaries. So carbon dioxide is high in the capillaries, CO2 is high in capillaries. What will happen, there is CO2 is less in the alveoli because it is just now filled in with fresh air which has so much of oxygen. So carbon dioxide in the alveoli will be less, carbon dioxide in the capillaries will be more. So according to the term diffusion, always there is flow from higher concentration to lower concentration. So from the capillaries which has high concentration of carbon dioxide will flow to the region where there is a low concentration of carbon dioxide. So oxygen is high in alveoli, low in capillary. So the flow will be from alveoli to capillary. Carbon dioxide is high in capillary, low in alveoli. So the flow of carbon dioxide will be from capillary to alveoli. So this is the process of diffusion which is happening in between the carbon dioxide and the oxygen in alveoli and capillaries. And this is going to be a continuous cycle. It doesn't happen because continuously we are breathing. So the process is also going to be a continuous cycle. This will never end until our last breath. We will be doing the same, and the process of diffusion will be continuing between the alveoli and the capillaries. So next we are going to learn about the differences between breathing and respiration. What are we going to learn? We are going to learn about the differences between breathing and respiration. How many differences are there? There are 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 differences given in your book. This is from your book only. Okay. So first, breathing is a physical process and respiration is a biochemical process. Why it is called a physical process? Whatever you can see directly with your eyes, whatever you can measure the quantity, it is all called physical process. What is breathing? Taking in of oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. This you can see with your eye. I can see you breathing and you can see me breathing. Okay, it's a part and parcel of our life. So this is a physical process since it can be seen and measured. Here it is a biochemical process because you know what is respiration? Respiration is the breakdown of glucose and formation of some products and gases, right? Along with waste products also. So here it is a chemical process, or it is called biochemical process because it is happening inside a living organism. It is called biochemical process. So this is a physical process and this is a biochemical process. This is the first difference. The second difference is, where does it takes place? Does it takes place inside the cell? No, it takes place outside the cell and it involves the nose and the lungs. Okay, so it doesn't involve cell at all. The cells of your body is not involved at all. Which two organs are involved? Your nose is involved because only through the nose the air is taken in, and the lungs is involved because through the nose directly it enters through to the lungs. Whereas here the process of respiration takes place inside the body cells. Every cell in your body undergoes the process of respiration where it can break the glucose and form products. Clear? So the third difference is energy. No energy is released. No is hidden here. Okay, so no energy is released here, and here food is broken to release energy. So out of breathing, So as you breathe, do you generate energy? Do you get energy by breathing? Never you get energy. So there is no energy released out of breathing, whereas respiration is a breakdown process where glucose is broken down, giving you some products, waste products, carbon dioxide as well as energy. So respiration will release energy. And the last difference is the process of breathing is different in different organisms, whereas respiration, the process of respiration is similar in all organisms. See, do fishes breathe the way how we breathe? No, right? They breathe through their gills, and they can breathe even inside the water, whereas human beings, can you breathe inside the water? No, all water will enter into our body through the nose, right? So every organism differ in their breathing pattern. So here every organism differ the way they breathe, whereas respiration is always breaking down of glucose to give energy and also some waste products. This is common in all the type of organisms. It happens the same way in all the type of organisms. So these are all the differences between breathing and respiration. Okay, then today's homework is going to be a activity for you. Okay, what you are going to do is, you are going to do this activity. Draw same type of table in your notebook. Okay, in your biology notebook, you can, in your zoology side, no, you can draw such a table. Okay, what you are going to do, you are going to measure the number of breaths per minute. How much is 1 minute? 1 minute is 60 seconds, right? So for 60 seconds you are going to measure your breath. What is breath? How will you measure? How will you measure? One breath is one inhalation plus one exhalation. What is that? Inhalation means taking in of air, right? Exhalation means like this when you give out. So 1, 2, 3, like that. Once when you take in and take out, take in air and give out air, you have to count as 1. Okay, 1, 2, like this you have to count. Okay, so when all you are going to count, first what you are going to do, you are going to sit simply, take a chair and sit on the chair. Okay, sit quietly for 1 minute, and then after 1 minute what you are going to do, you are going to measure how many times you breathe. Don't do it artificially, naturally you have to check. Like when you sit, after you sit quietly, start counting the number of breaths, how many times you breathe for 1 minute. Then what you are going to do, the next activity is walking. Walk very fast, okay, around your garden or in your room you can walk very fast, and then come back and start counting your breath, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that you have to count for 1 minute and write it in the second row. The third activity what you are going to do is, you are going to jog very fast, and then what you are going to do, you are going to count again the number of breaths for 1 minute, and finally you are going to run around your house, and then you will count the number of breaths you are taking in 1 minute. Okay, so all these columns will be filled, and now we are going to take a picture of this tabular column and send it to my WhatsApp number. So this is your activity for today. Immediately after you watch the video, do this activity and send it to me. Okay, and that is all for today's class, and until I meet you in your next biology class, you all take care and bye bye.